Hello and welcome to another edition of Comics and Pop. I am one of your hosts, Jonathan Rosen, along with Troy Cannon and Carlos Idarraga. And I should call him Mike. And I don't know if you've been seeing there at the end of our episodes, I hear it's still Mike. And I'll tell you the reason for that is originally we were going to go with this little joke that, Troy and Jonathan and Mike at the end. And the way I want to do is every week say that Mike was not here. And so we're going to have Carlos filling in, but we never changed that. So that's sloppy on our tech guy, I guess. So this week we were going to talk about DC Comics, in particular, the Justice League, as Carlos has disappeared from us.
Did I disappear?
You did disappear.
Camera's off.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Just started.
Troy's going to have to edit that stuff out.
Hold on a second. Am I back?
Now you're sideways. Yep. There you go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
But Troy's going to have some heavy editing to do this week.
My kid was texting me, so I had to text me something. I had to text her back with it, but I didn't know that they would turn off the. It does actually.
It does,
when you're WhatsApp, when you're FaceTiming somebody, if they go on their phone and stuff. So, but for future reference, for the people watching, I have high-tech equipment here. I'm not using my phone to do this. This is some very high-tech equipment that we're using here to do this podcast.
Well, getting on back to our show. So DC Comics has a problem. Okay, in particular with their comics, but they have a bigger problem with their universe right now, the DC universe. Especially that they have people that have been complaining about the way they're treated on set. They also have they have people who want to be in their movies who they're not letting in their movies, it seems, who already cast stars. And they also have now a big Ezra Miller problem. You can't have a star of a major franchise go and get arrested 2 times, 3 times in a month. So and they're still sticking by him so far. He's not been fired yet. I don't see how they're going to be able to keep this guy. He just strangled a woman. And this is on top of 2 weeks after he threw a chair at someone supposedly or whatever. So I'm not sure how they're going to keep this guy. But anyway, they have a problem. So we decided, and by we, I mean Carlos suggested, how we recast or cast in the new Justice League. We could keep some of the same ones, or we can entirely recast. It's up to us. Those were the provisions that he gave us. Am I correct with that?
Yes.
So
you are.
So that was the criteria he gave. So we're going to recast or say who we would keep in our revamped Justice League and explain why. And since this was Carlos's baby, we're going to start with him this week. To give us you want to do it one by one, or you want to go down the list?
We can do one by one, I guess, like we've done it before. But just to comment real quick on DC's problems, what you were saying before. To me personally, I just think that DC, the main problem with DC is Marvel, man. Marvel has been so successful with the MCU that DC, in a way, they're trying to copy, and they haven't found their identity. It's like they go from, first they had this, the Snyder Justice League movie, and then we have to have, the Snyder cut, whatever. And then, they extended the movie and they made it black and white and all dark and edgy, and now we have Gunn is over there now doing the Suicide Squad. Now they want to be funny, like the Thor movies and stuff, and the Guardians of the Galaxy. So they're just trying to copy so hard, and they need somebody to come in and just give them an identity and just run with it, So that's what we're going to do right now, basically, by recasting the Justice League.
Well, that's exactly right. They have no identity. They just, for a while, it was like they wanted to differentiate from Marvel, make everything dark, dark, dark. And the problem with that, to me, is that not every hero justifies that darkness. Batman is a dark character. Superman, throughout the history of their movies, has not been. Superman is supposed to be this, character of light and, and hope. And It's not this dark, franchise. And they were pushing dark on everything, and it's not that. And it just didn't work there. Right. Troy, your thoughts on that before we go into the characters?
Growing up, when I was youngster.
There better be some food in here.
Um,
Troy. That's-
There was a guy named Ben, and Ben was a DC guy. He was a DC fanboy. He was a DC fanboy. DC could do no wrong. Every single DC character could beat the Hulk in his mind, So we would sit down and we would debate it.
including
And
Batman.
always he would tell me how powerful those guys were. And I was like, yeah, man. But you can go to sci-fi and get just power. I mean, but if you want a character in comic books, there's got to be a story. The best two guys over there are Batman and Superman because they have the best origin story. What happened to them, basically both of them, somebody died, it sucked, and they spend the rest of their life atoning for it. Everybody else in DC, they have origin stories, but none of them are that good. The only one that competes with them is Wonder Woman, but they've changed her origin story like 5 times. They can't come with a good one. In Marvel, they've all got good stories. They're not all able to throw the planet out of orbit, but they all got great stories. And that's what it's always been. So when it translated to movies, it was a good story and they could build upon it. You get a good director. The director says, okay, what are we working with? And they say, this is the story. And he's got a place to run. Over in DC, they go, what are we working with? And they're like, they're strong. And he's like, oh, okay, what else? He said, no, they're really strong. And they're like, oh, okay. Batman can beat anybody. Oh, okay, what else you got? What's a good story? They're like, But in Marvel, they're actually legitimately following comic book stories. World War Hulk is coming out. Planet Hulk, they did. Contest of Champions, they did. Civil War, they did. They're taking stories actually from the books because this is where it's the source material, man. It's the source material. They're taking the source material and they're saying, people love this. They bought thousands and millions of these books. Let's throw these stories on the screen and people dig them. With Superman and Batman and DC, they're saying, okay, what are they doing over there at Marvel? They're going to do Civil War. Quick, beat them to the punch. Let's do Superman versus Batman. Wait, what? Avengers is coming out. No. Superman versus Batman, Dawn of Justice. And they're like, they keep doing that. Every one of their stories is a ripoff. To be honest, completely honest, if they hired some guys like us, we could go over there and we could say, shh, shut up. And we could tell them, look, stick to the stories, man. All of your stories are not garbage. The Batman was pretty good because it was the long Halloween, man. They took a story from the book, they adopted it to the movies. It was good. Today, DC refuses to do that. They want to follow Marvel. They want to try to mimic what they're doing. They're like, oh, they made money doing this. We'll do that too. Oh, what's that? You got a good story? Skip that story. Do what Marvel did. And they're doing that, and it blows my mind because these are people who are supposed to know what they're doing. Well, and that freaks me out.
I think you hit the nail on the head with a lot of things here, because that's my feeling with DC is they're not respecting the source material, and they're changing a lot of things in the movies, and they're doing it on the fly. Like we just said a few minutes ago, there does not seem to be a plan. It's like changing from moment to moment. And again, you have these iconic characters that they're not respecting. The comics, I mean, that's a whole other episode, which I wanted to get into the problem with DC Comics, but they are ruining their characters. They don't pay any honor to their established characters. They keep trying to change things along the way and to the characters that people know and the people love. So I think there is a problem in DC overall right now. But anyway, let's get back to our our podcast theme. And so we'll start it off with Carlos with your Superman and why.
Do we really even do this? We don't really like DC that much. Should we even have this episode?
Well, there's a problem.
Anyway,
the characters.
So Superman. Like I said, Batman's always been my favorite DC, and I actually a lot of the DC movies, I'm not that hard on them. I don't think they were that bad. I enjoyed. They could have been a lot better, obviously, but I enjoyed them. But Superman. So we'll start off with Superman, right? The main character of DC. Basically the Spider-Man of DC. Everyone loves Cavill, Henry Cavill, as Superman. He's like
Right here.
yeah, right. Everyone loves him, and he's I guess the most loved Superman since Christopher Reeve, basically, and everyone loves him. But I don't like him that much, and I'm going to tell you why. This is the reason that I don't like him. Okay? So when they were filming Justice League, right, in the beginning of the Justice League, he does a scene when he comes out, and he's being interviewed by a kid or something, or he's being interviewed by somebody, and he was doing a Mission Impossible at the time, so he had a mustache, right? And they CGI'd his mustache, whatever. So smooth the mustache. And every time I watch the movie and I see that, it looks so horrible. You can totally tell that they CGI'd it. And what upsets me is that you're gonna tell me that a villain on Mission Impossible is more important than fucking Superman? You know what I mean? Shouldn't you have automatically shaved to go do Superman? You can always put on a fake mustache.
Like you are right now.
Fake mustache. Exactly. This isn't real. Having a fake mustache is a lot easier than having to CGI your face and you look like a freaking moron, for a so-called DC movie. It would be like Tony Stark. If Tony Stark CGI'd his freaking, it's his Tony Stark mustache, whatever, Tony Stark was making, 85 million for 5 minutes of being in a Marvel movie, So it's like that, totally turned me off. I was like, this is it's like you're totally disrespecting DC kind of. So he was a good Superman because he looks like Superman. The guy's built, he's big, he's good looking guy, and he's got the form. But he was just okay to me. So my Superman that I would cast, who I think would play a perfect Superman, is my man, Richard Madden, Rob Stark, the king of the fucking North. Why am I cursing so much? I'm sorry. The king of the North. DC makes me curse. It's the DC. When Marvel, I'm clean. Disney, I'm clean. We don't, whatever. But DC, I'm cursing. Rob Stark, the Icarus, from the Eternals. That dude has the perfect face, the perfect cut for Superman. He would be the perfect Superman. He's young. If you cast him, he'll be around for another, 10, 15 years and stuff. You can make movies with him. And he's got that stoic look. The kid, he would be my choice of Superman in the new Justice League that we're casting.
Troy, give me yours.
My Superman in my Justice League universe would start out as Superboy. And Superboy would evolve. So my Superboy to start out with would be Zac Efron. Good looking guy, muscular, he's in great shape, and he can actually act. So I think as a starting out as a
Isn't he too short for Superman?
I don't know, but not too short for Superboy.
But
so he could be Superboy, right? And they start out with, in my version of what I would perceive as Justice League, it would start out with Batman, and then they would hint at the other heroes. And Superboy would be there, and then maybe they could tell his story, and they could even change the actor later to be the Superman. But I think they should start off with Superboy and tell his story, and not the Superboy Prime, but the old pre-crisis Superboy, I'm going to grow up and be Superman kind of a thing, the Lois and Clark type Superboy. And I think Zac Efron could do it, especially since he's apparently not going to be Warlock. I don't know what's up with that. He should have been Warlock, but since he's not,
we are campaigning for it right now.
Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe what they did.
Well, all right. I'm one of those people that Carlos is going to get annoyed with that. To me, I'm leaving Cavill. I think Cavill is perfect. I love him in the role. And here's the thing. And look, I'm not gay in spite of what you might have heard from fraternity days, but if Henry Cavill, wow. But the guy wants to be Superman. He wants to play Superman. It's DC that has been putting the stop on it. DC is putting other things there, we want to put someone else there, or we want to make it now Superwoman. that they don't DC, like, this is why to me DC ruins their things, that they have a character that wants to be there, likes playing the role. No, we don't want you. You know, even though the fans like him, we don't want you. We're going to take someone else. We're going to change the course. We don't want Superman anymore. This is why things to me, DC is idiotic. DC is moronic. I love Cavill. I think he's doing a great job. To me, like Carl said, I think he's the best one since Christopher Reeve. I'm keeping him, and DC is messing up their franchise with someone that, like I said, who wants to do the role. So I'm keeping Henry Cavill, and I'm standing by that.
He's the Witcher, though.
Well, he became the Witcher afterwards. All right, Batman. Let's go, Carlos. Batman. Give me your Batman.
So for Batman, I thought about it for a little bit. You know, I was like, man, because when I found out that Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, I was pretty upset because, like I said, Batman is my favorite of the DC heroes, and the DC movies, the Batman, the Dark Knight movies, the Batman Returns, the Dark Knight, that whole trilogy with Christian Bale is like one of probably my 3 favorite DC movies until this new Batman came out, which I rank right under the Dark Knight movie. So you know what? I'm gonna have to go with Pattinson, man, because he was a great Batman. As a Batman, like I said, I thought he was a fantastic Batman. And obviously, he needs work on his Bruce Wayne, but, he's got time to grow into it, right? He can, if you know that he's going to be Batman for the next 10, 15 years, he can bulk up, get a fucking haircut. I got to stop with the cursing. DC, he can get a haircut, and look like Bruce Wayne. I thought about John Hamm because I've always liked John Hamm. John Hamm, I think, he's still.
I have him on my list somewhere, but not here.
But yeah, but he's he's a little getting a little up in age. So I think Pattinson, I would stick with Pattinson for Batman because I really enjoyed the new Batman movie.
Troy.
Okay. Marvel, this is the one time I think that DC should follow something that Marvel did. Marvel's got Chris Hemsworth. Marvel also has Chris Pratt, and Marvel has Chris Evans. They've got the Chris's minus one important Chris. And I think that he should be Batman. I think Chris Pine could be Batman. They can bring him in. He's a great actor. He could be a pretty good Bruce Wayne. He looks like an uppity rich guy. He could do that. Plus, he can put the suit on, and from here down, he's Batman, man. He's throwing batarangs, hitting people in the face. He's kicking criminals in the chest, putting them in the hospital. He could be that dude. I don't know who would be his Alfred, but I think Chris Pine could make a pretty good Batman, and they can start their Chris's because Marvel's got all the other Chris's.
You know what's funny? I had thought about Chris Pine as well. I so there is something there. I could definitely see it, and I do like Pattinson also as Batman. I did not like him as Bruce Wayne so much, but I was looking at all the things like possible Batman. I did all the research, possible people to play Batman, and one name came up that I was like, you know what, I could really see that. And I hope I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. Nicholas Hoult. You know who he is? He first of all, he was that like the little kid in About a Boy, but he was recently in that Warm Bodies movie, the zombie one. So he's also this British guy. He has that look. He has that look that to me that make a good Bruce Wayne, and he could also fight. And I wouldn't mind seeing him take the role. I think he'd make a good one there.
This is something that I expect from Troy, Jonathan. Troy always breaks out the people that are like the characters that are obscure and stuff. But yeah, cool. I know what you're talking about, though. I know what you're talking about.
I could see it. I could definitely see him doing that. I think he's a good actor, and he's like 6'3", 6'4" also. So he's got that stature to do it. So I could.
He's not Robert Pattinson, but
no, of course not.
He's pretty good at filling in roles that have already been filled in. He did the Beast after what's the smart guy.
Yes, he did. That's right. Exactly right.
He did the Beast after that. And he also did Transformer or the Transporter after the guy that normally does Transporter, the British dude.
Statham.
Yeah.
Jason Statham. They tried to do a younger one, and he did that too. So he's pretty good at coming in and redoing roles that people have already done. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I can see him. So now, okay, let's go Wonder Woman. What do we think, Carlos?
Wonder Woman. So for Wonder Woman, My original, like I think Gal Gadot has been like the way you look at Cavill the Superman. I look at Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Like she's like the perfect Wonder Woman. You know, she's tall, she's beautiful. You know, she was acted in the role perfectly. The first time I saw her, she's like, you know, she's like got that beauty that like, you know, like takes your breath away. Like, oh my God, this chick is freaking beautiful. Kind of like, you know, the original Wonder Woman. She was gorgeous.
To be fair, you do say the same thing about Justin Timberlake.
I do, but you know, I actually had Justin Timberlake cast as Superman for a little bit, but I was like, you know, but anyway, my Superman. But anyway, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. But I had a since we, you know, I want to be a little different and not just keep the same people. You guys know who I wrote her name down, who Morena Baccarin is?
Yes.
From Deadpool, and she was in Gotham.
Gotham.
Yeah. That chick is beautiful, bro. And she's got like that, she has that look that like, you know, that she could be like I think she's Brazilian or something.
I think
so
she's shorter.
Like,
I think she is shorter.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gal Gadot is perfect because you know she's freaking 6 feet tall. She's like the perfect Wonder Woman. But if it wasn't Gal Gadot, if Gal Gadot was sick, it couldn't make it. You know, if she didn't want to shave off her mustache and stuff because she was doing some other role, like your boy Cavill, I would put Miranda Baccarin in because I think she's beautiful and I think she would look, you know, the part because you know she's got like that classic wow, oh my God, this beauty. But I would stick with Gal Gadot. I would stick with Gal Gadot as my Wonder Woman.
Troy, give me yours.
Okay. Have you guys ever seen a movie called Get Shorty?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Get Shorty. In that movie, Danny DeVito is telling John Travolta he's going to play Johnny Cash. And he's like, but you're so small. And he said, yeah, but you know, they'll be shooting it from angles. I'll wear platforms and stuff. It'll make me look tall. It's the movies, man. He said that. With that in mind, I'm thinking for Wonder Woman, who is an Amazon, and from that, we know that she should be really tall, but she's also an Amazon. So she's kind of from the Amazons. So I'm thinking she should be someone who looks like she could be from the Amazons. So I'm thinking Dania Ramirez, who is, she's the voice in the cartoon for Scandal Savage, Savage's daughter. And she also played Callisto in the X-Men movies. And she's in Devious Maids. She's in Devious Maids. Real attractive.
I'll be looking her up now.
Look her up. Dania Ramirez. She's in Devious Maids and a few other things. And she, to me, she looks like, I mean, because she was Callisto. So she looks like, you know, if you're walking down the street and your girlfriend bumped into her, you'd have to grab your girlfriend because she looks like she could beat her to death. You know, she doesn't look like a villain, but she looks like she's in shape and she could beat another woman to death. The only problem is she's only 5'4". So they would have to shoot her at angles and put her in platforms like Danny DeVito. But I think the look, she's got the long hair and everything. And, you know, she plays superhero roles and she does drama stuff. So she could do the role. I think she's got the chops for it. And when I think Wonder Woman, I think Amazons. And when I think Amazons, I'm thinking, you know, okay, well, she should be an Amazon chick, right? And that's the thought that I get with her.
But I would have been so impressed if you would have left it just as voice actor. I would have been like, my man really dug deep.
So
I think I know what you're talking about. Callisto from the X movies. I know who you're talking about.
He just trumped my Nicholas Hoult. So,
yeah, exactly. He's like, hold my beer, Jonathan.
You know, first we talk about these short people. Like, first of all, like Daniel Radcliffe, you know, Harry Potter is like 5'4", is going to be playing Weird Al. You saw that, and Weird Al is like good, yeah,
wow.
He's going to be playing in a biopic, and Weird Al is like, you know, like a good, like, you know, 6 inches taller than he is.
He looks nothing like him.
Wow.
He looks nothing like Weird Al.
Nothing exactly, but that he's going to be playing him in the movie. Anyway, getting back to this, to Wonder Woman, the same thing. This is the last one I have. She's perfect. She's perfect in the role. I'm not, you know, why am I changing it? Just everything about her is perfect. She looks like she could you know, she looks like she could kick your ass too. She's tough.
Yeah.
She has the military training, so she does look like that. Like, you know, this, I got to hand it to DC. They got this one right. So I hope they don't screw around with like, oh, we're going to cast this person, that person. This is the one that I would leave. And which means that if I think she's perfect, we all think she's perfect, DC's going to screw it up. There's no doubt in my mind. They're going to recast somewhere along the line. So, all right, let's go. Now let's go to the hot topic one, The Flash.
The Flash. Ezra Miller. You know, I didn't mind Ezra Miller as the Flash. I thought he was okay. You know, I could see him as the Flash because you think of the Flash as like a skinny, quirky kid and stuff, right? So I thought he was okay. I mean, obviously, we know that he's crazy. But if I was gonna cast the Flash, I would cast Timothy Chalamet from Dune.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that kid is lanky. He's, you know, he's got that look. He's got, you know, he's got that young look. You know, he's a young kid, you know, in his early 20s, and he's quirky. And when you see him acting Dune, he's like serious. But if I saw him, he hosted Saturday Night Live last year, and I watched the episode. And the kid, you know, he's funny, and he's like, you know, he would be, to me, I could see him doing Flash and doing like a really good job at it and being Flash for a long time because he's only like 25 years old or something like that.
So should I give you your reasons why? Because we already know your answer, but give me your.
I thought so too. Not from Dune, but when I saw him in I remember Dune, but I was thinking of him because of Don't Look Up, that show where he gets to sleep with the hot chick. The I forget what she did before this.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He gets to sleep with her, and I was like, that's a lucky kid. And then I was like, you know what? He could be a superhero. He could be like a young version of a superhero. And when Ezra Miller stood up and declared to the world that he was a complete and utter lunatic, I was like, you know what? Maybe he could be a young Flash. So that was my thought. I was thinking that's exactly the guy I was thinking. And like you say, he could do it for years. Yeah. That's something that DC needs. They don't think about tomorrow. They're like, let's do it today, you know? And I don't know.
Yeah, I'd considered him too, but I didn't go that way. And like you guys, I didn't mind Ezra Miller in the role too. But to me, there's no way they can keep him in the role. There's just no way that they can keep him in the role now. The guy's attacked someone twice now, and he has had other problems before then too. Seems like a lunatic. So I mean, I don't know how you can keep him in the role right now. I did go sentimental here. I got to see Grant Gustin in the role. I was upset. I was one of those people that was upset when they did not cast him. Like, he's already starring in your TV show. He's already headlining your series on it. Give him the shot to do the movie. We don't have to have it the same backstory, the same cast, everything to tie him down to the TV, history. But I wanted him to have that shot to do it there. He could play it differently because the guy can be funny also. But lately the Flash has gotten for the more, everything's like so saccharine and down and everything's sad. So the guy can play funny. I would give him the shot to revamp the role in the movie. So I was like disappointed. I want to see him get the shot.
And the movie is Flashpoint. They can easily change him. It's like it was built just so they could change the Flash.
Just so they can get Ezra Miller out.
Yeah, he's running through time and he's running next to the other Flash. The other Flash looks at him. It's the new actor. He trips or whatever, and the new actor comes through and nobody notices the difference because he's basically the guy, right. But he's just a different actor. They could do a dozen different ways they could change that and bring in another Flash. There was another Flash from another universe. Our Flash died, like on the cartoon Crisis. Yeah. The Flash, they were going to kill him, but then they decided to kill the evil Flash. Batman did it, which was a straight up murder move. Batman let the evil Flash die to keep that one. There were two different Flashes. They can think of a dozen different ways.
Well, did you watch the Crisis thing on the CW series?
I watched, yeah. I try to watch everything.
Ezra Miller did show up in there for one part.
Yeah, for like a second. He was pointing at each other. I'm Barry Allen. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
So that was one of the things that they did handle well for the TV series. That was a fun series. All right, let's move on down the list. Green Lantern.
Oh, Green Lantern? Oh, okay. I had Cyborg, but Green Lantern is so now you make me almost about. I guess I'm gonna have to improvise. No. But so for Green Lantern, I actually have two people. So because there's a white Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and there's a black Green Lantern, Stewart, right? So I guess if they're gonna go with to me, if you're gonna go with a Hal Jordan with a white Green Lantern, I picked an actor that I really like. I really like a lot of the movies that he's been in, but like probably my favorite movies that he was in was in The Hobbit. I picked Luke Evans. He was the Bowman. Yeah, the Bowman in the
he's in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, he was in Beauty and the Beast, and he's got like that he's got like a stoic look about him, like a superhero type look. So I think he would be a good Green Lantern. But I think that if they, if they want to be a little different and maybe do the John Stewart, I think that Idris Elba, even though he's older, I think Idris Elba would be an awesome Green Lantern, man. He's got like the perfect look for the Green Lantern. Luke Evans, man. Luke Evans is a really, really good actor, man. Really good actor. I loved him in the Hobbit movies. He was pretty much a superhero in those movies. So on a Green Lantern, when we saw Green Lantern with my man who played Deadpool, I didn't mind that movie. I didn't think it was a horrible movie. It was okay.
It's the Ryan Reynolds one?
Yeah, the Reynolds, yeah. But Reynolds to me is not Green Lantern, I just don't see him as Green Lantern, even though the movie was okay. He's not he's too much of a comedy guy, to see him as Green Lantern. To me, Green Lantern is a serious superhero. I don't think of Green Lantern as comedic. So
Troy, give me yours.
If they were going to go with John Stewart, I'm assuming they're going to go with John Stewart. I would say Morris Chestnut. I like Morris Chestnut he's tall, he's a bigger guy, he's in good shape, he's got a bald head, which of course adds like 5 points to your good lookedness. So he's got a bald head. I think Morris Chestnut could pull it off. He's a bigger guy. All the guys that they got in DC, they're trying to go with taller actors, so he would fit in there. I think he would be a good one to fit. And again, he's got good acting chops.
And what about if we go the other way?
I will reiterate and say what has been said. I don't think that Ryan Reynolds was a good choice. I think they could even go Tom Cruise and get a better performance out of it. Tom Cruise he's not really a superhero kind of a guy, but I think of Tom Cruise, now that he has seen what he gave up with Iron Man, I think he would actually give it an honest shot. And they need that kind of star power, because if you took Marvel and you shook all of the big names out of it, you'd have to stand there for 5 minutes. They've got everybody is in a Marvel movie. They got The Rock coming to the DC universe, and he will probably be the biggest name once he gets there if they get his movie right. But they need another big name. So Tom Cruise could put some butts in the seat, I think. And if he messes up, there's 1,000 Green Lanterns, or 3,000, just kill him and get another one, Kyle, or one of the other guys, Guy. They could stick another one in there. But, and that girl that wears the evil green, I can't remember what her name is, they could stick another person in there. But I think Morris Chestnut would be a good fit. And then if they went the other way, I think it should be maybe Tom Cruise. And I know there's people in the audience looking at that, throwing meat and fruit at their TVs right now. But
it's funny, Troy, that you mentioned Guy Gardner. I could see
I like Guy Gardner.
Ryan Reynolds. I could see Ryan Reynolds being more of a Guy Gardner than a Hal Jordan.
Ryan Reynolds would be a good Guy Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I went for my two. I wanted someone with, even though in the comics, Green Lantern's really not like a funny character. He's really not. He's like more serious in the things. But I went with two people that I thought could quote comedy, because I want to see some comedy in it. I went Hal Jordan. Here's where I went John Hamm. I wanted to see it. I could see him in the role. I think he's got the stature. He's also got the comedic chops for it. So I could see that. And I went Donald Glover. I could see that also, because I think he's so able to pull off. I wanted comedy, so I think both of them could be good with comedy. So I I did like that. I would like to see Donald Glover get into it, but I think I'd rather see him in Marvel than in than in DC. I don't want to.
Is it Marvel?
Yeah, I know, but I want to see him play like a character, like so I don't want him wasted in a DC movie. So that's to me, DC is a waste. But all right, now, Carlos, now we're gonna go Cyborg.
All right, fine. Now I can go back to my. I don't have to improvise anymore. So Cyborg. Cyborg to me is a complex character, and I think that the guy that they originally had playing Cyborg, I forget his name. I didn't like him as
Fisher,
Cyborg.
right?
Yeah, Fisher. Yeah, I didn't like him as Cyborg. And I mean, good because I don't think he's coming back anyway. But
he's not coming back.
I didn't like him as Cyborg. I don't know. I just
he might come back with a lawsuit, but he's not coming back.
Yeah, I understand how they went with the whole him being mad because he's Cyborg. He's like confused and stuff. But one of my favorite, like, I don't want you guys know how I feel about cartoons and cartoon movies and stuff. I don't really watch them that much, but I mean, especially with the superhero ones, because now we have such cool live action stuff. But I love Teen Titans Go, man. Teen Titans Go is like one of the funniest things in the history of the freaking world, right? And my kids used to love it, and I used to watch it with them, and Cyborg was freaking hilarious in that. So the actor that I chose is not necessarily a comedic actor, but I can see him kind of playing like a serious and comedy at the same time, because he kind of did it a little bit in Star Wars. John Boyega, I think he would be a perfect Cyborg. He's got the look for it. He's well known. He's a good looking kid. He's got the stature, and he's a good actor, because I thought he was really good in the Star Wars movies. And in the Star Wars movies, they kind of his character, while serious, had a little bit of a comedic side to it too. It was there was a lot of scenes that he was in that were funny, and it was because of him. So I think he would be a perfect Cyborg.
Troy?
A lot of people know this guy, but a lot of people don't know his name. I would go with O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Okay.
A lot of people know the name, but that's Ice Cube's kid.
Ice Cube's kid, yeah.
Ice Cube's kid. Now, he is starting to really get some momentum as far as being an actor. I think he would be a good Cyborg. He can do the whole, I'm from the street, look at me, my family sucked when I was growing up. I was a rough neighborhood. He can do that whole thing. And then he can also do but by the way, I'm also a computer genius, in case anybody was wondering. I can do that too. He could play both sides of that coin, I think. And he's not a really big guy, but they're going to have the whole cartoony thing around him anyway, the cyborg suit. So he'll be bigger on screen in the suit. So I think O'Shea, now he might have to shave, because I'm pretty sure he still has a beard and mustache. They're gonna have to clip his face, but other than that, I think he would be a good
DC, they can CGI and stuff now.
They can CGI,
yeah. Well, for me, I went exactly with Carl. I put Boyega. I put John Boyega for Cyborg.
Really?
Yeah, the same reasons. I mean, he basically played it in Star Wars. He's that stormtrooper. He's like living life as a stormtrooper already. Like all the metal and everything. So he's already done that, and he did have a lot of funny scenes in Star Wars. I think he had more funny scenes than serious scenes, actually. So I thought he'd make a perfect Cyborg. And I don't know if you guys saw one of his earlier movies. Do you guys ever see Attack the Block?
Yep.
Great movie.
And the other Brits in there too. The one who plays Firestorm in Legends, he's in there.
Yeah. And
the woman, the only Caucasian woman in there, she's the female doctor from Doctor Who.
That's right. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Great movie. I love that movie. I got to see it again now, actually. So, but
really about Star Wars, do you know that Boyega's name in Star Wars, his designation was FN 187.
Mm-hmm.
Which 187 is a murder, and
right.
FN is short for effing. So his name was effing murder in that movie. That was his name, and they just called him Finn because FN made Finn. So they called him Finn, but his whole designation was FN 187. So he was effing murder. I thought that, I was like, man, that's the coolest name ever.
That is cool. I didn't look. Why giving us trivia? All right,
Oh, we have
let's
Jordan, yeah.
wrap this up. Let's wrap this up now with Aquaman. Last one here. What do we think?
So before I say this, I think that there's a possibility that Jonathan and I Google the same list of actors to see who could play what. So if you have the same Aquaman as I,
Let's see. Let's see who it is.
So for me, Aquaman. So Aquaman right now is my man, the big Samoan guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, who I'm a Jason Momoa fan. I was a Jason Momoa fan from Game of Thrones. I thought he was awesome in Game of Thrones. He was really, really good in Game of Thrones. And you know what? I didn't know that he was in Baywatch. Did you guys know that he was in Baywatch too? I had no idea he was in Baywatch. He looks totally different in Baywatch.
When he was a kid.
Yeah, but anyway, for me, Aquaman, I think I want like more like the classic looking Aquaman route. You know, like the blonde hair, blue eye, Aquaman and stuff. So I chose Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy.
I did not go that way, by the way. So
yeah, he was in Sons of Anarchy, and he was in Pacific Rim. Good looking kid.
Was he Jax? Was he Jax?
Yeah, Jax. Yeah,
Jax. Oh, yes. Okay.
Jax.
Oh, I love Charlie
Jax.
Hunnam. He's first of all, he was in that series. I don't know if you remember. It's like one season, like Undeclared. You guys remember that one? It was like,
yes,
it was a great show. He was very funny in that one.
He was in that. You're right. He was in that too. He was a kid. He was a young kid when he did that. But yeah, but I was a big fan of Sons of Anarchy. I was like, I watched the whole series, loved it, and the kid's a really good actor. Mm-hmm. And he's got the look, man. He also played. I think he also played Robin Hood. Did he play Robin Hood? Didn't he do Robin Hood?
I think it was the king.
Yeah, they did like a different version. Was it Robin Hood or was it something? But yeah, the kid's a good actor, man, and I can see him as Aquaman. He's got like that, perfect jawline, the blue eyes, blonde hair. He's got that look, that Aquaman, that classic comic book Aquaman look. So that's the route I
definitely see him in there. All right, Troy, give me yours.
I agree. I think I like Savage Aquaman with the beard and everything. He needed a hook, though. He didn't have the hook, but I like Savage Aquaman.
Well, the hook came much later, though. So.
The hook came later, yeah. I like the original version or the more classic version of Aquaman. So I was thinking Skarsgård, Tarzan and True Blood. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah.
Alexander Skarsgård. Because he's like 11 feet tall. Yeah. He's muscular but slender. He did The Northman, which I haven't seen.
I want to see that.
I want to see that too. I got to see that.
Was that good?
He was great in Aquaman. He was not an Aquaman in Tarzan. He was a fantastic Tarzan.
Yeah, he was great in Tarzan. Yeah. I would like to see him. I think he could do a good Aquaman.
I could see that.
I think he'd be a good Aquaman.
There is no Tarzan for me after that Bo Derek movie because that's the definitive Tarzan movie. So.
I don't even know who the Tarzan was in that movie, to be honest.
Neither do I.
I just remember Bo Derek.
Right. It didn't matter. Yeah, I was like, Tarzan, get off the screen already. So when Jason Momoa was first cast, and I didn't pick because I didn't want to go the same one again, but when he was first cast, I think I was we might have even talked about it. I hated it. I said, this is not Aquaman. How could they put this guy in Aquaman? It looks nothing like it. Aquaman is not this big muscular guy. So I hated it. And then I saw the movie and you know what? He's pretty good. I thought Jason Momoa was pretty good in it. I did not know that he could do comedy well, and he does. So I did really like him in the part. But since I'd already picked, Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot the same, I wanted to go a different way. So I went with my supernatural guy, Jensen Ackles, for Aquaman. I could again, he could definitely do the humor. He's not like this overly muscular guy. He has, more of a slender look, but I think he could definitely pull that off. And I would love to see him as a hero. I'd love to see him in more. I know he's in The Boys and everything, but I could definitely see him as Aquaman.
You know who I hope they never recast? The chick that took a dump on Johnny Depp's bed. What's her name?
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard.
She should be recast.
I always thought, I mean, she's like really good looking, but now it's like
She's
you look
nuts.
at her and you can't think of anything fucking else. You can't think of anything else but like some chick taking a dump on Johnny Depp's bed.
Well, not just that, you heard all the recordings from that.
Oh my
right?
God.
The
Everything
recordings that
about it is just
But
surreal.
she said, he complained that she punched me. She said, I didn't punch you, I just hit you. Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's never going to recover from that.
She's great. But again, DC hasn't fired her. She's still in the
You know
movie.
what?
Yeah,
Looking back at a lot of my previous relationships, I think I might have been abused. I remember getting hit a lot.
They'll say you had it coming.
That's true.
Well, let us know what you guys thought, in the comments. Let us know if you agree, disagree, who you'd like to see cast in some of these roles. And we'll have to do a whole different video trashing DC more, because I got lots to say. But let us know. Again, this has been Comics and Pop. I'm Jonathan, along with Troy and Carlos, and please subscribe.
Subscribe.